Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Spurs Live. Welcome back to a new match reaction. Where in today's video, we'll be talking about what an insane game this was versus Bournemouth. We've got a certain amount of talking points to talk about in today's video, but without further ado, all the time I say this, just subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video, and get your comments in the comment section down below. If you want to subscribe, that'll be gratefully appreciated. But once again, no pressure. Starting off today, we will be talking about Richarlison back on form. You know, he's been scoring goals after goals after goals. You know, we just put out a post on Instagram, not comparing, but it's just stating facts. And the fact is that he's got equal amount of goals as Saka, yet Saka gets praised quite a fair amount compared to Richie, who gets stick all the time. I'm going to bring up the post if anyone is really interested in it. It simply says, I'll get it up now. Here it is. It simply says, Richarlison, he has scored 6 goals this season. I'll bring up as a thing. Here we go. Look at this. You tell me how this looks. Richarlison has scored 6 goals, 3 assists in 17 games, whilst Saka has got 6 goals, 6 assists in 19 games. This is only Premier League we're talking about. Not just that, 2 goals of Saka was penalties. Richarlison hasn't scored any penalties because he's not a penalty taker. Quick stats: appearances 17 to 19, goals and assists 6 goals, 3 assists, 6 goals, 6 assists, 2 appends. Minutes per goal 154 minutes per goal, whilst Saka's 278. Goals per match 0.35, whilst Saka's is 0.32. And yes, so that's all a really small bit that I wanted to talk about. But let's get into the game. So without further ado, obviously subscribe to the channel and let's get into the match reaction. Let's bring it up now. Tottenham Hotspur versus Bournemouth was a really tough game, I'd say, in terms of the surface was wet. I know I'm going to sound like Klopp right now, but the surface was wet. Both teams had a lot of injuries. You could say Solanke had a knock at the beginning that didn't look like he was going to continue afterwards. You had Pape Sarr obviously getting off injured. You had constantly players going down due to injury. But the main ones were, in my opinion, were Pape Sarr, Solanke, and Alejo Veliz. I want to touch on each and every single one of them in their own time. So starting off with Pape Sarr, obviously a brilliant tackle by Giovanni Lo Celso, and Sarr gets the ball. He dribbles. He goes a bit out to the right and then hits the shot. Like I personally been saying, we need to hit those shots game after game after game, because if no one's taking shots, no one is taking shots, and that's the main thing. Pape Sarr took a shot, bottom left-hand corner, smashed it, great goal. And we are left now with Pape Sarr sliding on the ground, celebrating. Brilliant stuff. Love to see that. Problem here, people think he's got injured due to that slide he did to celebrate. Ange clearly doesn't think that. But later on, slightly afterwards, Pape Matar Sarr just comes off injured. He's crying his eyes out. He is upset that he's got to come off because obviously AFCON is just around the corner, and he's had a breakthrough season, and he got called up. I think it's for Mali. I think Pape Matar Sarr. I think he's from Mali, or is he from Senegal? He's from Senegal. Yeah, he's from Senegal. So Pape got injured. A bit annoying for his sake. But then we go and move on to Solanke. Solanke obviously missed about 9 chances, but he got heavily injured. He got a serious injury. I don't know how he continued throughout the game. I don't know what the reporters say after the game, but he looked like he was in some mad pain. Um, then towards the end of the match, we had Alejo Veliz. Obviously, he came onto the pitch, substituted, looked good, gave a bit of a weird pass, I got to say, to Ben Johnson on that right hand side. But then the ball came into the box. Veliz came for a shot. He juggled the ball, came for a shot, and he hit the opponent's leg, I would say, I think. And Veliz's leg popped out, kind of thing. That's what it looked like. Not too sure what it was, but that's what it looked like. Problem here comes the fact that Veliz doesn't go down, in terms of he goes down, but he wants to continue playing. So he stands up, he continues playing. 2 minutes later, when you can see Vallejo is in tears, he's the second Tottenham Hotspur player to come off due to injury. He's in bad pain. He can't continue. You see Højbjerg coming on a breakthrough with I think it was Sonny on his left, and he had Veliz on his right, and he passed the ball to Veliz. What, the kid who his legs have just popped out, you're going to go and pass him the ball? Brilliant. Brilliant, Højbjerg. Brilliant stuff. Big up to Wayne Bonner, who's in the chat. How many chances did Solanke need? He should have buried us early. Poor performance, but stubborn and strong. Gutted for Veliz, especially when he came off the pitch in absolute tears. Yeah, especially for a youngster like him. But my question to you, Wayne, is do you think it was determination from Veliz in terms of he wanted to continue going, therefore he didn't just lie down and show his determination for the team? Or do you think it was just inexperience from him? And even though Ange told him to lie down and Gio was telling him to lie down, do you think it was inexperience from him that just caught up with him, and the correct thing to do was to just lie down and the play would automatically stop? But it looked like he had a determination to continue. So Wayne, what do you think? Comment that down below. I'm interested to hear what you've got to say. But obviously, big up to Wayne who's in the chat. He's a regular here. Love to have him in the chat. So yeah, so Alejo Veliz comes off injured, crying in tears. Now that's the injuries. Richarlison now bangs a goal. Now let's talk about. I want to go early on the game. I'm just gonna bring the here exactly. So we talk about Pape Matar Sarr. 9th minute, he goes, gets the goal. Son Heung-min. Now, how many chances does this man have to get? Because I think that he needs to be. He's not good enough in terms of running on that wing anymore. I think he's at the age where he's a brilliant clinical player. He's a brilliant clinical player. I think his dribbling isn't the best. I think he's got the pace. He's got to come up against the correct fullback. I think his crosses he can do with better crosses, but in terms of his finishing, the goal he scored in terms of finishing is world class finishing, and that's what we need to see from him. If we want to call Heung-Min Son a world-class player, we need to see his finishing be world-class. That left strike of his was a world-class finish. Now, how many times did we see Son have the same opportunity? We've seen him have that opportunity multiple times. And what does he do? He loves to run, stop, and then continue. But he didn't do that. We've got a new guy I've never seen in a chat before, so big up to Map, or unless he has been, I'm sorry if I didn't see you. Mapping, who's in the chat, big up to yourself. Hopefully you are doing well, and hopefully you're having a lovely New Year. I forgot to say Happy New Year to everyone. So big up to Mapping who's in the chat, big up to Wayne who's in the chat. We can't expect to play like Man City without depleted squad. Players played Players played with their heart, showed some great resilience, conviction was added, surrounded with the fans' belief and players. Brilliant stuff there. And that I'm gonna star that because I want to get back to that. Son is a counter player. Big up to GameGok EN. I've never seen you in the chat for sure, so big up to yourself. Hopefully you're doing well, and drop a like on this video. Subscribe if you're new. You know, maybe you enjoy this kind of content. Son is a counter player. Now, I agree with you. So does that mean in terms of corners, we kind of need Sonny to stay up front? Because I'm pretty sure usually in corners we have no, I would say Sonny is usually up front. No, I get your point. It's a good point. Good point, Gamecock. I kind of agree with you. I want to just go back to this comment that I started here. Um, so we can't play like Man City, and I agree. I think Man City are a level where we need to strive. We want to get to Man City level, but it's going to take us a couple seasons to get to them. The reason being is because the players that Man City bring off the bench automatically know Pep's system. The players we bring off the bench, I don't think know Ange's system as well as the first team, because otherwise we would see them play in the first team. You get me? I think Man City's second squad depth in terms of, you can say, players like Jack Grealish who come off the bench. He automatically knows his Pep's system. Julian Alvarez, he knows Pep's system. So it's so easy for them to integrate into the team. But when you've got the likes of Oliver Skip who comes on, I don't think he knows Andrew's system that well to automatically have an influence as great as Jack Grealish would have. I'm not saying in terms of goals. Don't get me in my word in terms of goals. I'm saying in terms of how they can influence the game. I don't think Skip influences the game as much as you've Basuma does, because the levels there drop. So I agree with that. Players played with their heart, showed some great resilience. Very true there. Now this is what I'm going to ask. I asked Wayne this. Do you think Veliz should have stayed down, or do you think Veliz should have stayed down and it was just his inexperience that kind of caught up with him, or do you think it was his determination to continue playing? Comment that down below. I'm interested to hear what you say. But yeah, I agree. They played with their heart 100%. Conviction was added, surrounded with the fans' belief in players. Yep. The fans obviously were brilliant at the day. It was pouring down rain. Now, it was pouring. It was hailing at one point. Son should have had a hat trick. Hesitated on a few on first few chances, but on that beautiful ball from Gio, he finished as he should have the earlier chances. And that is a point. I think Sonny, if he was Sonny a couple seasons ago where he had a bad season but he was scoring each second, he would have scored those hat tricks. But I don't know why he's hesitating a bit too much. I agree with you. He has that kind of thing that he wants to outrun the defender in terms, and I think he just needs to get his shot out automatically. I think get your shot out. And yeah, by the way, guys, keep on the comments because I'm gonna be reacting to all the comments. I'm gonna be reading out all the comments. So yeah, I would love to interact with you guys as much as possible. Once again, if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Link is in the description, or link is in the is in the chat here. Here's a link. There you go, lads. Get subscribing. And yeah, big up to everyone who's in the chat. Obviously, much love to everyone who's in the chat. Get up and play on. That's what Gamecock says about Village. So I'm getting. I'm pretty sure it's the lack of experience that you're talking about, or it's determination. I don't know. So comment that down below. Next up, we are going to be talking about the lineup. We're going to be talking about the lineup. But before we do, hang on. Before we do, no, you know what? Let's just get. Oh wait, we got one more comment. We got one more comment. Bissouma, can I be this on? Yeah. Bissouma will second fiddle to Bentancur. Will be a second fiddle to Bentancur. I like Lolo more. He is calm, composed, and more reliable. Bissouma will be someone to come off from the bench once Højbjerg departs. Interesting. Interesting. Do you think then that that Bissouma role, because the way I'm seeing it, the way I'm visioning it is we're playing a CDM and two central midfielders, but that second central midfielder is a cam. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm saying we're playing one CDM, a central midfielder, and then a cam kind of thing. So we're playing like a Pep system where it's Stones. You'd have like a central midfielder and you have a attacking midfielder. That's where I'm seeing it. So I would personally say I would say Basuma goes in the CDM. I'd say Bentancur goes in the central midfield, and Cam is Maddison when everyone's fit. But what you're saying is you would say no to Basuma because he makes too much mistakes, like Wayne says. You'd put Basuma in. You'd put Bentancur in the midfield, in the central midfield. You'd have Sarr, I'm guessing, and then you'd have Maddison when everyone's fit. And you're saying Basuma. Oh, you're saying Basuma would be a player that comes off the bench. Fair enough. Fair enough. Basuma does silly stuff to get booked. Bentancur doesn't. He's focused and composed. That's very true. I think that's what we need in terms of now that we got the players like. I'm gonna say this. You know, if you agree with me or not, it's up to you. Now that we got the players like Hugo Lloris who departed, we got players like we don't even have Hugo Lloris is our last player. We don't have many players who are experienced, who are composed. I'm not saying Hugo's composed. I'm saying he knows how to direct orders to centre backs. But now that in terms of Davis is our oldest player, so he's the only composed one, experience. So I understand your point. Good point, Wayne. I thought it was a wind up when I heard Bentancur was starting. Thought he'd be out for a while. Yeah, I'll be honest. I didn't know. I was a bit shocked when I saw Bentancur was starting. We were doing a live stream. Whoever was here, and we had who did we have on? We had Soren on. We had Mia on. We had Alex on, and it was funny because as soon as that came out, well beforehand, Mia and what's his name and Soren were both having a discussion saying how Soren wouldn't want to see Bentancur come on, but Mia would want to see him come on. No one wanted to see him start, and bang, he was in the starting 11. So big up to the medical team for getting back, and I think she played very very well. Veliz will get more minutes eventually, is getting mentally equitable as well. He thrived as a player. I see some unleashed potential from him and will slowly develop our youth like Donny and Veliz. All right. You have brought me up to a new topic now. I had a big discussion on Alan's show. Big up to Alan, obviously. I'm going to talk about this. Now, sorry, it's called. I was trying to think what the channel was called. It's called Times Added On. Youth players. No, let's create youth players. Bang. All right. What do you think? How do you think Ange is supposed to integrate them into the first team? Because I'm thinking the likes of Phillips, the likes of Donley. I'm not going to bring in Veliz into this conversation because lately he's been getting minutes, 10, 15 here and there, which is brilliant to see. I'm so happy to see him. But in terms of minutes, how does Donley get minutes? This is the second game where Ange calls Donny to come up to get warmed up to play, and then last minute he sits him down. Phillips, I'm not saying you should start. I'm actually going to retract my words from the past couple of shows. I don't think Phillips should start. I think he should come on. 100% should come on. I don't think he's ready to start. I think he should come on. But why can't they come on if we're 3-4-0 up? If we're 3-0 up versus Bournemouth and we put on Eric Dyer, what does that show to our youth? That we just don't we don't believe in them, I guess. We literally just don't believe in them. Veliz is a beast. beneath the surface, he's going to be a problem for opponents. I'm looking forward to seeing him in the future. I 100% agree. He's got an eye for goal as well. Let's be honest. He's got a goal. He's got an eye for goal. I don't know if you guys see the youth play, but when he plays for that, I think the under-21s or something like that, he looks really solid. He's tall. He can get on the end of the headers. He's the type of player that when Poro's got the ball on the wing or when Sonny's got the ball, cross the ball in, man. Put a ball in the box, because if it doesn't get to Richie, it'll get to Veliz. In terms, I'm saying if we do play two strikers at one point, if we were losing a game, be on Veliz, putting crosses into the box. The geezer scored a goal the other day, a decent goal as well. Let's not try and just because it was against Nottingham Forest. I'm pretty sure Tottenham versus Nottingham Forest. Yeah, no, it wasn't then. Was it then? When do we play? When do we play? Who did we play that Veliz scored? Who was it that we played that Veliz scored? I'm trying to remember. We played. Was it? No. Oh yeah, it was Brighton. Yeah, Brighton. We played Brighton. Veliz bang scored. Not saying he's going to do that every single game, but I'm saying if a player's scored, you give him more time. And brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. He's given him more time. David, it's that. Good to have you on here. Good to have you on the channel. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you joining. I've never seen you in the chat before, so thank you so much for chatting. Hopefully you're having a great day, and stay positive, mate. Brighton got the first. Yeah. No, yeah. I do remember that now. Thanks. Cheers, lads. But I'm saying he's got an eye for goal. These youngsters, give them 5-10 minutes, and how do you not know that they might be the new backup players? I mean, they will eventually. Hopefully, they will get to the first team level. But I'm saying, how do you not know that they're good enough to be a backup player? You don't know. A manager needs to be very careful while using the kids. It's vital to understand how delicate the situation gets. You can't just throw them in. Skill or attributable wise, they might be there, but mentally, they are still well short. They might be. Yeah. Okay. So, but if we're 3-4-0 up, would you not say, and we're 4-0 up? Okay, I'm gonna paint you guys a picture. I want the comments honestly to get involved. With the with the discussion. And if you guys, by the way, if you haven't answered the poll yet, answer the poll, because I'm actually really interested to hear your thoughts. Do you think we deserve to win to beat Bournemouth or not? I'm interested to hear, because currently I'll tell you exactly, we've got 15 votes. Yeah, I'm gonna reveal the yeah, we got 15 votes. All right. So, okay, I'm going to paint you guys a picture. Chat, do your thing, obviously. I want to get to know your thoughts. Hotspur TV. I thought we were lucky, very lucky to win yesterday. Mate, number one, before, Hotspur TV. Thank you so much for joining. Guys, head over to their channel. Drop a like on a recent video. Subscribe to their channel. Hotspur, big up to have you on the channel. Interesting thought. I'm gonna get into that later on, if you don't mind. But right now we're just gonna paint a picture for the chat. We're 4-0 up because I had a big discussion on times added on. Alan, both Alan and I agreed on this. So chat, we are 4-0 up. It's the 86th minute. We're playing against Nottingham Forest. We're 4-0 up. You can see that Ashley Phillips. You can see that Emerson Royale's looking tired. Emerson Royale's looking tired. He's not focusing in the match. You've got two players on the bench. You've got Eric Dyer and you've got Ashley Phillips. And you've got 5 minutes to the end of the game. Bang, 5 minutes to the end of the game. Who would you put on? Would you put on an Eric Dyer who you know what you're going to get out of him? You know you might concede a goal. You know you might concede a goal or even two. You know that he's going to have the body to deal with the opposition. So he's going to have the physical battles. He's going to be good with that. You know he's going to be good enough to do the passing, but then you know that he's going to make some mistakes. You know he's not fast enough, and you kind of know that you probably will concede a goal or two with him. Or would you go and bring on Ashley Phillips, where he's a youngster? You are intrigued to see how he deals with opposition players instead of his own players, because remember, he plays against the same players for 8 hours every single day in training. He plays against Son, he plays against Richarlison, he plays against Veliz, where he knows what the players are going to do already, so he knows. So would you put on Ashley Phillips, where you can see potentially what he can do? He can gain some game experience, but you might concede a goal or two. But it's 5 minutes which are vital for a player, and 5 minutes is a long time. What do you think? Who would you put in? Um, if Bournemouth could have buried the ball in the net, it would have been a massacre. We got away with one yesterday, big time. That is very, very true. That is very true. I wouldn't say we got away with it. I would say the lack of experience in terms of our team got onto us at the end. I just feel like it was just a lack of experience, lack of clinical, because we also had chances as well, and we weren't clinical. I rather like Ange introducing our youths like Phillips and Dorrington when we have the first team out. Phillips, besides Van De Ven or Romero, would pour up more confidence in him rather than Royale. Fair enough. Or Davis. I think I think he I think he will play the youth in the cup versus Burnley because he has to rest a lot of these players. But I agree, Josh, rather see youngsters than Dyer. It's true. Look, at the end of the day, we get to a point where I hope he doesn't make the same mistake that he did versus Fulham. I'll be honest. If the young players are good enough, then give them the minutes. They have to play to grow, develop, evolve at some point. Very true. Diggs BTW7A, what's up? Good to have you in the chat. Obviously, hopefully you're doing well. New to the chat. Make sure everyone subscribes to this channel. Spurs Live. You know we're trying to grow. So any new subscribers will be gratefully appreciated. We're trying to bring you content almost every single day. This is our match reaction to the game. So if you are enjoying this, drop a like on this video and continue commenting because we are reacting to every single comment. Before we continue, I quickly want to check out what is the vote saying. What are the votes saying? Who are the people who are voting? What are they saying? And all right, so we got 15 votes. We've got 15 votes. Hang on, I'm trying to let me see how this goes. Because I don't know if you can actually see how the votes are actually doing. I don't know. Big up to all the new subscribers as well. Thank you so much for joining. Let's have a look on exactly the voting system. How's that been doing? Well, we got 15 votes here. Okay, majority are saying Tottenham Hotspur deserve to win. The majority are saying we deserve to win. So yeah, it's looking like we deserve to win. I'll be honest. It's looking like we deserve to win. So let's continue with this. So I personally, what I would do is I would bring on the likes of Ashley Phillips for a bit, for 2-3 minutes to gain some game experience. Now, the argument we were discussing this against, I apologize for forgetting your name. I forgot what his name was, but one was called Jay. I'm sure all of you guys know him. He enjoys Tottenham Hotspur. And look, at the end of the day, we all respect each other. We just have different opinions. It happens, you know. I might have a different opinion to Wayne. Has might have a different opinion to Mappin, and Mappin might have a completely different opinion to me. You know, we all at the end of the day, this is what the chat is all about. You know, we get to discuss this, and you know, it's not a fight. It's just an interesting conversation to have. So the conflict was about his point. Jay's point was, well, Ange sees Tottenham Hotspur play. Well, Ange sees the training for 8 hours every single day, and he will have the best assessment on the situation. Now, what I believe, and by the way, one of the comments that someone commented on Alan's stream was, do you believe that you aren't a better, that you can't tell Ange what to do? He's been in the game for 30 plus years. How can you have a say? Now, I'm as a fan. I think fans have a huge say in the club. I believe that I have a different view to Ange, and sometimes it's correct. I'll be honest. Sometimes I believe that I'm correct, and sometimes I believe Ange is incorrect. Sometimes I believe that what if I was the manager and I would have done differently, I would have gotten a different result in a positive way. That's what I believe. I believe that I wouldn't have started. I wouldn't have changed 9 players earlier against Fulham. I wouldn't have done that. But that's my start. But if Ange has been in the game for 30 plus years, surely he knows not to change 9 players at a Tottenham Hotspur team where it looks pretty much down. I'm just saying. But look, everyone, it is what it is. I'm interested to hear what you guys have got to say. So obviously, drop a like on this video, subscribe and comment down below. All right, so let's move on to we're gonna continue moving on to my own talking point. I got 5 points that I just want to put through versus Nottingham Forest versus Nottingham Forest. Bournemouth. What I'm talking about versus Bournemouth. Number one, it's the lack of substitutions in terms of the like for like players. An example here for you guys. I believe that if you take off Pape Matar Sarr, the like for like substitution that Ange believes is Skippy. And I just don't understand how is that a like for like substitution? I'm sorry, I just don't understand how that should be your substitution. In my opinion, that substitution should be more like here you go, cheeky little Gallagher, take this, take it. You get me? That's what I believe should be the substitution, not a defensive play like Skippy. At times, so that's the first point. I think in the transfer window we need to get more like for like replacements. Højbjerg leaving, I don't think he can leave. We don't have another CDM as quality as he is when Bissouma is injured or suspended. Believe it or not, I think Bissouma will continue having suspensions this season because he's just a player who has mistakes in him. He's great on his day. Bissouma is one of the best CDMs in the Premier League. You can't disagree with it. He is one of the best CDMs in the Premier League on his day. But he's had already 2 red cards this season, and he's had multiple yellow cards. And it's not like the red card was justified. It was stupid tackles. If not even a tackle, it was a dive. My guy got 2 yellow cards, one against Luton, 1 yellow card for a stupid foul he made, and another yellow card for a dive. I mean, surely you know when you're 1-0 down or anything, or when you're 1-0 up versus Luton, that and you're on a yellow card, don't dive to try and get a foul. I just don't think that's how you go. I just don't think that's how you go about it. That's my second talking about. Yeah. I think Johnson. I want to talk about Brennan Johnson. What are your thoughts on Brennan Johnson's match versus Bournemouth? Do you think? I really do think we saw one of the best performances of Brennan Johnson. I think he played really well. We can't have 22 first team players. We have 3 great centre midfielders and 2 squad players for 2 spots. Okay. I'm gonna go through with you a couple players. That central that midfield I feel like is really solid on its day. It's one of the best on its day. It's got the nice defenders. It's got the nice defenders, and I'm going to include Skippy in it. It's got the nice defenders, which is Bissouma, Højbjerg, Skippy. Nice CDMs. We've got a good amount of central midfielders. Bentancur, Sarr, and Lo Celso. That's nice, solid central midfielders. And you've got a good couple of attacking midfielders, such as James Maddison and Dejan Kulusevski. So we've got 8 midfielders in a team, 3 for each position, except for the attacking midfielder, where we've got 2. That's great squad depth. I don't think all of them need to be on the bench. The bench, in my opinion, how many players are on a Premier League bench? Premier League bench. I wonder. I don't know how many. 7 players. Okay, 7 players. Big up to big up Josh. Happy New Year, mate, my friend. Thank you so much, mate. Hopefully you're having a great day, and yeah, mate. Hopefully you have a great year. Yeah, cheers, mate. So the players that I think need to be on the bench are, in terms of the midfielders, are Højbjerg, Bentancur. Sorry, you gotta remember, 3 of them are starting. Now my midfield is Bentancur, Sarr, and James Maddison. That's my 3 of midfield. Okay, so you got them 3 out: Bentancur, Sarr, and James Maddison. So then the bench should be Højbjerg for CDM spot, Bissouma for CDM spot. I think Lo Celso should be there, and Kulusevski. Half of our midfield, half of our bench, even more than half of our bench should be midfielders. If not, sorry. Let me check. Bissouma, Højbjerg, Bissouma, Ben. I'm struggling here. I think it should be like 1 CDM, couple midfielders. Perfect. Bissouma, Kulusevski. See, it's difficult, guys. I need help. Who would you have in terms of the central midfielders or midfielders in your bench? I don't know. It's probably gonna have to be like Bissouma, Lo Celso, not Skippy. Yeah, Bissouma, Lo Celso, Højbjerg, I guess, and then yeah, them 3: Bissouma, Højbjerg, and Lo Celso on the bench. Now, in terms of that attacking midfielder, where you could be questioning, why is he not saying Kulusevski? Because I think Kulusevski is starting. Kulusevski has to start. There's no world where Kulusevski does not start at Tottenham Hotspur. He's a bigger threat than Brennan Johnson is, guaranteed. He influences the game better than what he has a greater influence on the game than Brennan Johnson. So I think he definitely starts. Brennan Johnson, he's got the pace, sure. He hasn't shown us much else. 50 mil he cost. He cost us 50 mil. Anyone realise that? 50 mil for that geezer. What else are the comments saying? What else are the comments saying? And any topic the comments want me to anyone in the chat wants me to react to. Get some comments in. Obviously, I want to be chatting to you as much as possible. And Postecoglou is thought to be an admirer of Radu Dragusin as well as Jean-Claire Todibo. Reports of talks over signing Conor Gallagher from Chelsea are believed to be premature, but Spurs will continue to monitor the situation throughout the window. Pape Matar Sarr's new contract is expected to be announced soon. Big news. Pape Matar Sarr's contract will be announced soon. Spurs are keen to push through a quick deal for centre-back in the opening days of the transfer window in order to solve Postecouglous' major defensive headaches. Yeah. Tottenham have monitored Ikatura as Postecoglou wanted him at Celtic. He's the attacking midfielder, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he is an attacking midfielder. I'm thinking about a completely different person, aren't I? No, sorry, I'm sorry. He's a defensive midfielder. What else? Vicario obviously on Instagram has thanked Hugo Lloris for all his things he's done for him at Tottenham Hotspur for the welcome. Do you know anything about anything of Radu Dragusin? So it's looking like Tottenham Hotspur will be signing Dragusin. According to Alistair Gold, Postecoglou is an admirer of Dragusin, and it's looking like Tottenham Hotspur will be announcing Dragusin very, very soon. I would say the bid should be placed in a couple days. Announcement should be probably next week. I would say if Tottenham Hotspur really want to go ahead of this, they need to do this quick. Dragusin bid in a couple days. Announcement next week. Bang. But you never know. You never know at this point. I'm starting to question maybe things are going behind the scenes that we're not really knowing about. Because how did, for example, Bentancur? No one knew he was going to start today out of the blue, literally. So I think Dragusin is also a great addition to the team. You've got to remember, Dragusin is a youngster. He's come from Genoa, so I'll be gassed to have him, and hopefully, I'm going to say this now. Hopefully, he fights for that starting 11 spot. I want him to be fighting for that 11 spot. Another player I think Tottenham also should sign is Conor Gallagher. Honestly, I think we should sign Conor Gallagher, but not for the price Chelsea are asking. Not for the price Chelsea are asking for. It's too much, way too much. Dragusin Conor Gallagher is the type of player that I feel like Tottenham Hotspur can benefit so much from him, so much from him. Who would be your first signing as a Tottenham Hotspur coach? Let's say, who would be your first signing? Would it be Dragusin? Would it be even? Dare I say? Would it be a defender? Would it be a I don't know. Who would you have as your first signing as a centre back? What else we got? What else we got? What else we got? After a defensive player, what position is next? Oh, after defender. What's DC? I think what's DC? I'm not too sure. I think you mean defensive player. I would say defensive player. What position is next? What position would be next? The thing, if it was a personal question you're asking me, what would I go for next? I would 100% go for that midfield spot. Look to bring in a midfielder, because the quality right now off the bench is not exactly what I'm hoping for. Bentancur is starting next match. I'm saying in Premier League against United. Bentancur will be starting. Lo Celso will be standing, and probably Kulusevski will be starting. Who will be coming off the bench in terms of quality? You ask. I don't know. But so if it was up to me, I'd go for a central midfielder next, a box to box, a number 8, like Ange says. But in terms of an attacker, I would say I would just say Jota would probably be next. In my opinion, I think Jota will be probably next. You think a left back? All right. Do you mind explaining why you think a left back? I'm trying to think in terms of squad depth on that left back. We've got Ben Davies, we've got Destiny Udogie, we've got Emerson Royale. I think left back is kind of covered. I'll be honest. I don't really think left back is a major priority. Midfielder and striker with Veliz injury and possible Højbjerg exit. Interesting. Yeah. So I'm guessing you're saying midfielder will be your first target. I mean, after centre back, it'll be midfielder's first target, and then striker with because of Veliz's injury, and because of Højbjerg's exit. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. I hope though Højbjerg doesn't leave. I really do think so. I think Cesc will be given a chance. Oh, I'm okay, fair enough. No, they are so drop off from Udogie. Yeah, very true, very true. They are a big drop off. They are a big drop off, but I just feel like Tottenham Hotspur are lacking on different positions than the left back. I feel like the left back is kind of like the one position where, or not the one. It's a position where we kind of don't really need to strengthen that much right now, and I think that there are other priorities. because I mean, look, I understand your point. It's a fair point, but in my opinion, I put other players, other positions ahead. Oh wow, today! Oh wow, I didn't even know this. Today there's a big game. Liverpool. By the way, guys, do you want me to do maybe some watch-alongs? I'm just interested to ask you guys. Do you want me to do some watch-alongs? Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm actually quite good. I'm actually quite good at watch-alongs. I go a bit crazy in watch-alongs. Wow, yeah, watch-alongs are a long story for me. But yeah, so you're saying no, they're big drop off. Fair enough. Let's let's review someone's play ratings. For 2023. Perisic 6, Destiny Dogi 8, Pedro Porras 7.5, Emerson Real 6, Lenglet 6, Dyer 4.5, Ben Davis 7, Sanchez 5.5. Yeah, I'll be honest, it's a long day. As soon as he said Lenglet 6, and then he said Davinson Sanchez 5.5. Yeah, no. What else? What's the chat saying? So centre back is a key position we need to strengthen ASAP. We need to get this deal done by even Thursday. Done. Get Dragusin in the doors. Bang. That's it. Off the training. Next round training. In terms of an attacker, who would be your target for attacker? Because I would be interested in someone called Morgan Gibbs White. Morgan Gibbs White. Yep, the Morgan Gibbs White. I think he offers Tottenham Hotspur a lot. I think he will link up with Johnson because of the Nottingham Forest link up. And I think he can do really, really well with Sonny. I'll be honest. I think he'd do really, really well with Sonny. Because he's the type of player that is literally running all the time. He doesn't stop. He literally doesn't stop. But overall, look, lads. But overall, I think I'm getting excited for the season. Obviously, it's only halfway through the season, and it's going to be a great end of the season when all our players are back. Big win versus Bournemouth. Huge win. That puts us in the league table. That puts us very nicely, like a nice comfortable 3 points behind first place, which is Liverpool. And just so everyone knows, Liverpool's next game is Newcastle. That could be a tough game for Liverpool. Hopefully, Arsenal lose the next match. Who's Arsenal's next match? Well, it's Liverpool in the FA, but then it's Crystal Palace. Hopefully, they lose against Crystal Palace, and then they get Nottingham Forest. So hopefully, they can drop points to Crystal Palace. But I doubt they will. I doubt they will drop points. I really doubt they will drop points. What else? So that leaves us with the standings of Tottenham Hotspur. If they beat Man United, hang on a second. City are playing, or Newcastle, City are playing Newcastle. Oh, it's gonna be tough. Dream buy sell in January. So my dream buy in January would probably be. Does a dream have to be like realistic, or can it be unrealistic? Because if it's realistic, a dream player I'd buy in Jan that's realistic. I'd go for Chiesa. Chiesa, I would go for. I think he's a great player. That's my dream realistic January buy player. And my dream sell in January player would probably be someone the likes of, I don't know, Tanguy and Ndombele. Brian Daigle's in the chat. Good to see you, Brian. Hopefully you're having a brilliant day. Happy New Year to you, mate. Big up, Josh. Happy New Year to you and everyone in the chat. Obviously, thank you so much to everyone who's in the chat. If anyone, by the way, I forgot to say, if anyone does want to join the live stream, you're more than welcome. I'm gonna start having guests on here, so whoever's interested, come here, have your say. Yeah. Plus the scum bottled the title early this year. Yeah, literally. No, but it's actually quite funny because if City beat Newcastle, they actually go first place. If and yet Arsenal are the ones. No, but if Arsenal get a strike in January, they could be serious contenders. Now, do you think though that Tottenham Hotspur? I don't want to push ourselves here. I'm not saying title at all. Do you think we can finish in the top 4 this year? Do you think we can? Because I believe that we can finish even third this season. Think about it. Think about it like this. In a regular season, where would we finish? Right now we would be first place. We would be first place. Right now, we would be first place. If none of our injuries happened and our players kept their head focused on a game, not dive and not slip their leg up like Romero did against Enzo Fernandez, I think it was, then we'll be good. We'll be first place clear. I honestly think we'll be first place clear. Still yet to lose a match. I'm going to say that as well. He's still yet to lose a match. But because our team is it's young. It's very, very young. It's inexperienced as well, I'd say. Remember, our back line is new as well. They never played together before. Postecoglou has started the likes of Destiny Udogie, Pedro Porro, Romero, and Van De Ven, a completely new line with a goalkeeper that's completely new to the league. Wow. We'll finish top 4 easy and upset the title race big time. Oh, yes, mate. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. You know, there's nothing better than to see how we just bottle the league for Arsenal in terms of, not bottle the league for Arsenal, like see Arsenal bottle the league and, maybe beat them on the way as well. A cheeky little 8-0. No, I'm joking. But I'm not joking. Hopefully I dream for that to happen. All right. But we are ahead of where we were thinking this season was going to go. Yeah, this is important to notice. We are ahead of schedule. We're like Newcastle from last season, well ahead of schedule. People thought maybe Tottenham would get 5th. Not even, maybe 6th. Most people had Tottenham finishing 7th. I didn't. I certainly did not. But most people did. Most people had Tottenham finishing 7th, 8th. I had Tottenham finishing 6th. We have an attacking fluidity, but also a defensive stubbornness. Yes. Do you think maybe our attacking are just not clinical though? They're really not clinical. They get the most chances, but they're not clinical. Can that just show that the fact that we are just because we are just so spoiled with the amount of chances, it just looks like we're not clinical when really we are. Because essentially, even when we're losing, we're scoring 2 goals. We're beating teams 3-4, 3-4, 0, 1, 2. Andreas, good to see you in the chat. Hopefully you're having a great day. Happy New Year. Another great channel. So refreshing for many that are exclusive, ego-driven. Congrats. Big up to yourself. Hopefully you're having a great day. Look, I'm happy to have you on the channel. You're more than welcome to join. Subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this content. We're just here with open mind. We're enjoying Tottenham Hotspur. Great season. But there are some cons we need to be, aware of. But so far, so good. What is with the highlighted link? What is with the highlighted link? What highlighted link are you talking about? Are you talking about this one? If you're talking about this one, this is the one to join on here if you want to have a conversation with me face to face. Sorry, I didn't mention this. Yeah, this is the one to jump on, have a little show, have a little call in. Sorry, Mapping, that I didn't explain it. So if you do want to jump on, click this link. If you do want to subscribe to us, if you do want to subscribe to me or to Spurs Live, that's the link down there. You can subscribe there. And yeah, hopefully, you guys are enjoying the content. We are so close to 20,000 on Instagram, so if you do want to smash that follow button on Instagram, be gratefully appreciated. But yeah, so sorry I didn't explain that earlier. Yeah, it's StreamYard. Yeah. StreamYard, brilliant. They're not, we're not sponsored by them, but go check out StreamYard. We're a community here, Spurs. Obviously, people in the chat. If you guys got any questions, feel free to ask. But most importantly, we are a Tottenham Hotspur team. We're doing well this season. People are saying that, wait until injuries, wait until this happens, wait until this happens. Injuries have happened. We've had 8 first team players, even not 9 first team players out of the team injured, and yet we are sitting 3 points behind first place. We've had Bentancur out, we've had Sarr out, we've had Richie out, we've had Romero out, we have Bissouma out, we have Kulusevski, we had okay, again for all you guys. We had Van De Ven out, we had Romero out, we had Bissouma out, we had Maddison out, we had Richie out, we had did I say Bentancur out? We had did I say Sarr, Bentancur, Maddison, Micky Van De Ven, Cristian Romero, Richie, Sessegnon, Ivan Perisic, Alejo Veliz now. We've had so many injuries, and yet we're still third. When Maddison is back, what is your front four? Wow, good question. On the left, it's Sonny. Up front is Richie. On the right is Kulu. And that cam position is Maddison. I'll explain to you why. People don't think that, Kulusevski is good enough in that wing spot. I think he's the best Tottenham Hotspur team in terms of hold-up play. Honestly, I do think that. But before we continue, hang on. We've got the father of YouTube here. YouTube Tottenham Hotspur I'm talking about. Not YouTube. Don't get too ahead of yourself. The father of Tottenham Hotspur YouTube. Someone who helps me gratefully a lot. That obviously I do appreciate it. I'm trying to give him a good intro. Yeah, Tottenham on tour legend, obviously. Anything else to add? The brains of Tottenham. It's Ryan.
Listen, Josh. First of all, thank you for that lovely intro. Father of YouTube, I highly doubt. Definitely Tottenham on tour. I may have a few things to say about, but most importantly, Happy New Year to you, Josh, your family, and everyone in the chat and their family as well.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year to you too, mate. Obviously, yeah, guys. Once again, yeah, this is Brian. I'm sure everyone knows you. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. Obviously, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. But Brian, little secret here. I watched your Tottenham on tour earlier today. Very good stream.
Thank you.
I do have a couple questions here because it's a bit boring if we all agree with the same thing. So conversations is how it starts.
There we go. Let's do it, Josh.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts in terms of the game versus Bournemouth? Now, do you think we deserve to beat Bournemouth, or do you think it was a game where we could have easily lost it?
Listen, the way I will put it is we got the job done.
Yeah.
The main thing you've got to take from that game yesterday, Josh, is we have a very injury ravaged team, suspensions as well, down to the bare bones. And we needed to answer some questions, especially after that Brighton disaster.
Yeah.
And the boys showed up and did it. Bournemouth played very, very well. Bournemouth, if they're taking their opportunities, that could have been big Hotspur, brother. It could have been a lot closer than it was. They didn't take their opportunities. When we got them, were fortunate enough to take them. But that could have been a very, very different scoreline. That could have been, if Bournemouth had been more clinical, we could be talking about a very different score. But we got the job done.
Yeah. I think that's the most important bit that you said there is we got the job done. Um, People would say that Jose Mourinho, what a manager he is, what a manager he was, but at the end of the day, we didn't get the job done with him. We used to come out of games playing horrifically and not get the job done. Antonio Conte, same thing. There would be games that we just wouldn't get the job done. Now, I want to talk about a big talking point, which is the attacking players.
Yep.
So the attacking players, we there's a conversation here about how much chances we create. I'm gonna just say we create a lot of chances. I believe we create a hell of a lot of chances. Do you think our attackers are clinical, or do you think they're not clinical enough? And do you think if you think they're not clinical enough, do you think they're not clinical enough because we just have too many chances in terms of
So put it this way. Brighton, I saw Richarlison getting a load of stick again
yeah
for always being offside. Bang on, Gamecock, without a doubt for me. The Celso was great, but I think Udogie was just subliminal. He was absolutely incredible. But getting back to the striker being clinical, if Bentancur had been on that pitch against Brighton and was passing those balls to Richarlison, without a doubt in my mind, Richarlison's onside because they see the pass quicker, they play the pass quicker, he's onside. Richarlison needs to work on staying onside. There's no doubt he has an issue with it and he's offside a hell of a lot of times and he needs to learn. But he was taking his chances against Brighton. They're disallowed rightly for offside. We've had what I think we struggle with at the moment. I don't know if other people see it. We tend to want to do what Arsene Wenger had Arsenal doing at one time and just score the perfect goal. And we have to have so many passes. It has to look beautiful and then a cut, whatever. There's so many opportunities where we should just take a shot on goal or one too many passes. They need to be more clinical. We do need to be more clinical. Listen, we had it. If you look at it, there's the run of defeats we went on of scoring first and then losing. Look how many attempts on goal we had in those games. Over 20, 25 attempts on goal and was walking away with one goal. That's simply not good enough. Certainly in the Premier League and certainly if you're going for the Championship or in a title race or want to qualify for top four, even Europe, you need to take your chances in the Premier League. And when we've got a defence at the moment that can't keep a clean sheet, for obvious reasons, there's no without Romero and Van De Ven, obviously, then you need to score. You have to score goals, and we need to be a little bit more clinical, in my opinion.
No, 100%. I think at the end of the day, you can't be, getting 10, even 11, 12 chances a game to score goals because we get around 10. We all the time, almost every single attack of ours is leads to a creative chance. And we just don't end up scoring. So Sarr news very quickly. Yeah, he's basically signed a deal, just waiting for club announcement. Now, tell me something.
And he's going to the AFCON, by the way. He's going to the AFCON.
Oh, he's going to AFCON.
He is going.
Interesting. Okay, well there you guys go. That's why we love Brian Daigle. This is what I wanted to really properly talk about. I'm a big fan of Braithwaite. I really think we should be going for Braithwaite from Everton. Need to pick him up early because in 1 year's time he'll be worth over 100 million. Now, this time last year, any other time except for this year, we'd be saying, Braithwaite, a Donny from Everton, a geezer who's a centre back, will be worth 100 million. Everyone will be laughing their heads off. But at the end of the day, it's true. It's true. He's going to be worth 100 million, and people will be surprised. But the lack of centre backs right now, that I believe Everton have got a really, really solid one at their team. We need to get onto him. Now, I want to know your thoughts on that, on the centre back department, because I think the two centre backs we need is, I don't think we need Todibo. Obviously, I'd love to get Todibo. I don't think we need him. We need Dragusin and we need Braithwaite. I think both bring different qualities to the team that I think can benefit us a lot. But those are two of my centre backs. What are your thoughts on the centre back department? Because that's the main department in January.
Yeah, well, first of all, Todibo, apparently it's a hard deal and it can't be done, and it may Chelsea are talking to him, and you watch him go to Chelsea.
Yeah.
So that deal smacks to me that one team will pay the money for him, one team won't. I think you can work out which team will pay the money and which team won't, and which chairman won't. Dragiston, listen, Paratici's all over that, and if Paratici's all over it, fine by me. Fine by me. I've been saying for a few months now what Hotspur is saying. I think Branthwaite, we're talking, will be one of the best English centre backs in recent history. He's that good, in my opinion. But this season, there is absolutely no way whatsoever Everton will do business with us. If they want 100 million, let's just say it was 100 million. For Tottenham, it's 125. The whole Richarlison thing, the whole Dele Alli thing, the whole chairman thing, there is no way that Everton Football Club, even though they need the money, will deal with us. There is absolutely no way on God's green earth. If we could only sign one player this window, this is the man I would sign. I think he's incredible. I think.
Do you mind explaining a bit though why specifically Braithwaite? What qualities do you think he has that maybe other defenders don't have?
He's got everything. Listen, Everton did it with John Stones, and they're already comparing him to John Stones. I actually think he's better than John Stones was at that age. That's how good he is. He is commanding. His tackling is outstanding. He's come into an Everton team and been there, the rock at the back for them. I think he has every single attribute that you need to be an Ange Postecoglou defender. I think you're looking at the next best English defender since Ferdinand and Terry. Excuse me, when we look back over his career. By the time he finishes his career, that's how good I think this guy is. I'm not saying he's in that bracket, but I'm saying he will be very, very close to them by the time he retires.
This is coming from Tottenham Hotspur fans, by the way, guys. This is coming from Tottenham Hotspur fans that we think that Braithwaite, a player who's in Everton, is worth 100 million. Now, I mean, coming to this January transfer window, there's a lot of expectations in terms of transfers, in terms of us getting people. Guys, by the way, this is a link to Brian's channel. Subscribe here, get him to 8K. Come on, guys. I heard you speak a lot about one particular player that I'm a huge fan, and I'll hold my hands up. I did not think he'll be anywhere near as good as he is now. And his name is Vicario. Now, I want to talk about not just Vicario. I want to talk about Vicario, Udogie, and Pape Matar Sarr. How important? Because for me, this should be done before any signings, in my opinion. How important is this to get them a new contract?
Well, Udogie and Sarr have. Udogie and Sarr have. Udogie, we know. Sarr is about to be confirmed by the club, but it's done till 2030. People who see me on Tottenham TV, we are Tottenham TV, will know when we didn't get Raya, I went absolutely nuts. And this is before Vicario was linked. I went absolutely nuts, and I blamed it all on Daniel Levy. Like I
watched that stream, by the way. I watched it.
I went absolutely nuts, as I always do. But waiting in the wings, they had who I have said that I wholeheartedly was wrong. I think pound for pound, the best signing in world football this summer, just gone, for value, was Vicario. He is. I was saying it on the stream earlier with Johnny that the very next thing we have to do is tie this man down to whatever this man wants, give it to him. Forever, however long, because this keeper is beyond our wildest dreams. He is absolutely outstanding. I cannot stress how good Levy, and I will give him credit when he's due, the board, Paratici have done in getting this man in. It's outstanding what he's done.
You can also see that in terms of he's got the leadership qualities. In my opinion, he looks like he's got the leadership qualities. He brings all the defenders together to have a huddle. You know, he's a type of player that if Hugo Lloris, now that he's leaving, he's the one who I'd want to, have him in goal. And thank God we actually do have him. Now, I'm gonna ask a couple questions regarding summer signings. Do you think James Maddison is a better summer signing than Vicario? I know you said
No,
Vicario is the best. I know you said Vicario is the best summer signing, but the reason why I think Vicario is the best summer signing is simply because of the maths. When you do the maths, how many points has James Maddison won us compared to how many points has Vicario actually saved us? Because if you flip it and you say, okay, you know what, instead of James Maddison, we're gonna have, I don't know, a Lo Celso in there. Okay, it's a drop off. It is a drop off. But if you say instead of Vicario, I'm gonna have Hugo Lloris in there, that I'm telling you is a massive drop off. So that's just my thoughts on the Vicario situation. Now, we had this conversation earlier in the stream regarding youth players. I had a debate, and obviously all the chat already know this. We had a debate on Alan's YouTube channel. What's it called? It's
time
called
added on.
Times Added On. Yeah, and both Alan and I actually agreed on this, and we were talking about how youth players deserve time towards the end of the match. Now, I want to get your thoughts on this, Brian, because
Great.
I'm really interested. What do you think in terms of the youth? How does Ange integrate the youth into the first team or into playing?
So first of all, what I will say when you said about Vicario, to me, the most important signing of the window was Van De Ven. The best
Okay.
signing,
Oh,
the best signing was Vicario, but the most important one was to get that left centre back in. And cannot wait for that man to be back. Youth, listen, people will know, and you'll know, Josh. I have spoken for a couple of years, maybe a bit longer now, about a certain youngster who's on loan at Port Vale right now, in my boy Alfie. There has to be a time to bring him on. When I start in Premier League games, like let's look at the main three we're talking about right now that are available are Dorrington, Phillips, and Donnelly. You can't play them all three together to start, but you certainly can bring them on. I went to the 5-2 at Burnley at the beginning of
yeah.
the season, and Ashley Phillips was on the bench. And I would have, if I had been manager, as an ex-Blackburn boy, being at Burnley, their worst enemies, at 5-2 up with a few minutes gone, I'd have been go have a run out. And wind up the Burnley fans a bit and get a few minutes, and then you've played a few minutes. You've been part of a Premier League winning team. Gareth Bale had 24 games starting where he couldn't get a win, and then Harry Redknapp brought him on when we're beating Birmingham 3-0, so he could end that. Don't get me wrong, Bournemouth yesterday, Alex Scott is a big problem. I think we've really, really missed the boat. I was talking about him last summer as well. I think we've missed one. Really, really well and truly
Not
missed
for the
one.
first time at all.
And giving them minutes is very, very important. It's just when. And I think Jamie Donnelly, who was going to come on against Brighton, but then got told to sit down. I think it happened again yesterday. Veliz is getting minutes, isn't he? Or was.
Yeah.
Went off injured, and it looks like a bad one. So I think at certain times, you've got to start bringing them in. If we're winning a game comfortably and there's a few minutes left, bring them on. Bring them on. Give them the minutes.
I think especially when you have to look at the fact that maybe there's a gem in there, maybe there's a squad depth play in there. Now this is actually quite difficult. I was actually struggling on this question. I don't remember who asked this question. Sorry, people in the chat, but I forgot. I think it was Mappin who asked this question. You got wait. Before we actually got a question for you. Mr. Daigle, what is the most important position to buy this window? I think centre back, left back, and a left forward that can play cam.
I am in complete agreement. We're going on. Listen, I've been saying recently over the last 3 or 4 windows, defenders. We need defenders. That's basically what I've been saying. If we don't have a centre back, and look, put it this way: last season was our worst defensive record in Premier League history. Or sorry, in Premier League recent history. I think we've had one season where it was worse. And we went into this game against Nottingham Forest with the second worst defence or goal conceded in 2023. Nottingham Forest were 1 goal worse than us. Bournemouth were 2. And thankfully, we got 3 and made Bournemouth. So basically, Bournemouth conceded 70 in 2023. Nottingham Forest conceded 69.
Yeah.
And we conceded 69 in the calendar year. And then if you
Cost.
go back and look at last season being the worst defensive, listen, Van De Ven and Romero have been injured. We haven't been able to play the back four that we love. But if that doesn't scream for your data-driven and your chairman to say, right, I think we need defenders, then I don't know what does. I don't know what does. I want a defender here ready to play against Burnley. I really do. I really do. I want to see Davies and hopefully Dragonson. It looks like it may be, but we need a centre back in badly.
Yeah. Well, to tell me something. I don't really. I'm not looking to hear the odd usual, Jota, or even Chiesa. But do you have a left forward in mind, maybe like an attacker that not many people have heard, but you just someone you're actually quite interested in?
Well, there's one I'm so annoyed that he's going to a certain place. Obviously, living here in the wonderful country that is Canada and the wonderful city that is Toronto, I've kept a close eye on Canadian football. And I was waxing lyrical about someone before the World Cup that plays in Belgium, but looks like he's going to Inter Milan. Is
Okay.
a left winger called Dejan Buchanan. He can play on the left or right. And it looks like he's going to Inter Milan for £8 million.
What's he? He's a youngster, isn't he?
I think he's 22. He looked like Leroy Sané. Has got
Yeah.
all the speed you could imagine. I would have loved Tasia at £8 million.
Yeah.
£8 million. I would have loved for us to go get Tajon Buchanan, but it looks like he's going to Inter. That would have been the one. That would have been the one. Tajon Buchanan, who I'm a big fan of, and I'm telling you now, come the World Cup here in Canada, America, and Mexico, people talk about Alphonso Davies. People talk about Jonathan David. Everyone will be talking about Tajon Buchanan. That's
Oh,
the
you've heard
one
it
that's
here.
got
Yeah.
away.
Well, look. We've talked about some transfer signings. We talked about Mr. Daigle's most important positions. And we've also talked about some contract extensions that we need. By the way, we need to keep Lo Celso. 100% agree.
Yeah.
And this nicely moves me on. You've got a full fit team. Yeah, right this minute, you've got a full fit team. We're playing Man United tomorrow. Yeah, you now need to have three midfielders to start, and you need to have certain midfielders on the bench. Bear in mind, Kulusevski can play as a cam. Kulusevski can play as a right winger. It's for argument's sake. And yeah, so the CDM and this is what people have questioned. People have said you don't need to play a CDM. People have said you need to play a CDM. What would be your starting three in the midfield, including that cam position, and what would be your numbers on the bench in terms of the midfielders? I'm interested in that. Yeah.
So if everyone's fit, you're saying if
Yeah.
everyone's fit. So I'm not going to obviously say people that are at AFCON or whatever because
Yeah.
they won't be able to play. To
Yeah.
start against Man U, who are absolutely woeful, Bentancur, Lo Celso, Maddison.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
attack these. Attack. United are in absolute disarray, and I don't think they can live with that midfield. I honestly don't. Bentancur. Someone mentioned in the comments, we are talking about how classy he is and how he came on, and he just is so calm. And someone, can't remember who it was, I can't remember his name, 3 foot all is what his name was. And he said Bentancur is basically the tennis equivalent of Roger Federer in how classy. And I was like, Joe, that's spot on the money. This guy is just class. So for me, against United, Maddison, Lo Celso, who can do a bit of both, who can mix it up, and Bentancur, I think absolutely tear United apart. Absolutely tear them apart.
It's basically just attack as the best form of defense. I think, especially with Ange's team, attack is the best form of defense. Bentancur, Sarr, Maddison when Sarr is back. I'd use Lo Celso as a number 8 versus low blocks alongside Madders / Kulu in the number 10. Okay, so Brian, this number 10 spot is getting on my mind a bit because you've got Maddison, who, in my opinion, has to start. But then
Correct.
you've got a player named Kulusevski, who people don't think he is good enough on a wing, and people are questioning whether or not you start him ahead of Maddison. And then you've got a side person called Giovanni Lo Celso, who can also play as a number 10. So where are you placing all three of them? I mean, it's a bit of an annoying one. For me, I'd place Maddison as a starting 11, and then Kulusevski on that right. What would you do?
Brennan Johnson on the right for me, Kulu on the bench.
Okay,
Kulu,
and
I don't
yeah.
want to see Kulu on the right wing ever again. Ever.
Why?
Because I've now nicknamed him when he's on the right, Dejan Predictabilisky. Because that's what, listen, in the attacking role, he's brilliant. I love
Yeah.
Kulusevski as a player, but he dips in and out of games. 1 minute he's fantastic. The next minute don't get me wrong, his work rate is better than everyone. But I think Brennan Johnson is going to become an exceptional player. I really do. The price tag is an issue, and everyone's weighing him down with it. I think Lo Celso gives you a bit of both. Kulusevski can come. Listen, I would actually say Kulusevski and Lo Celso you can rotate starting at 8.
Really?
Because
Wow, okay.
Maddison 100% starts whenever he's fit. He starts.
Do you not think? Do you not think we might be missing that body in midfield or in attacking where Kulusevski just holds up the play, and I think he holds up the play better than anyone else. Do you not think we'll be missing that a lot?
But this is the thing. You look at it when James Maddison's back on the pitch, we will start blowing teams away again with goals because of the quality of his passing, his technique, the goals he will chime in with. Kulusevski, it depends who you're playing against. If it's a team where you need hold-up play, and this is the beauty of it, and this is why Ange gets paid the big bucks. When there's teams that we need to be a little bit more tighter with the ball and composed and hold it up and do that, then it's Kulusevski all day long.
Yeah.
But when it's a team where we're going hell for leather, then for me it's Maddison and Lo Celso. And that, I mean, to tell you the truth, and I've been saying this recently, we're not going to get him because it'll cost too much, but I would take Morgan Gibbs White at Tottenham right here, right now, because he would tear teams apart. I want him over Gallagher. I want him over Phillips. We won't get him.
Yeah.
Especially
now in January, we won't get him.
Exactly. And you got to remember, as we were saying, Josh, with all these theories or questions we put out about what stuff, this is, thankfully, we're in a good position that when people are fit, Ange Postecoglou has many weapons at his disposal. Yeah. And now that January's open, we've just got to make sure that he gets what he wants when he needs it. And then we'll see. I can't remember a time where we've been here. This is before, like as I said, this is Sarr. We're talking the midfield. I haven't even spoke about Sarr and Basuma because they're at the AFCONs. You add them into the equation. There are great choices, and this is where squad rotation, when it comes back in game management, is huge to our second part of the season.
And this is where I feel like where we can go back to literally the second comment of the stream. We can't expect to play like Man City without a depleted squad. Players played with their hearts, showed some great resilience, conviction, and was surrounded with fans' belief and prayers. We can't. So the first bit, which I'm focusing about, is we can't expect to play like Man City. Man City, for me, are the perfect example of what Tottenham Hotspur need to be in terms of squad depth. The players come off, the level doesn't drop. It drops maybe a tiny bit, but it doesn't drop by much. You get Doku off, you bring Jack Grealish on. You see it's simple transitions there that for me the quality there doesn't drop as much. So when people say, oh, Kulu needs to be on the bench, it's not like he's on the bench, he's never going to be playing again. He's on the bench, he's going to be coming on in the 40th minute, depending on what match we'll be playing. If we're playing a Man City, in my opinion, I think we need to start Kulu for the extra body. But if we're playing the likes of Nottingham Forest or Burnley, where it's a low block team, we need Maddison on there. But to close us up, I just really want to just go back to what the whole topic of the stream is about. It's the reaction to Bournemouth. Can you give me a couple of words of just your thoughts versus Bournemouth? What were your thoughts on the game?
I'll just very quickly want to just mention what you were just speaking about with Man City. Well, what I will say is people say at Tottenham, when we say we need another centre-back, let's go back and get Tapsoba or Todibo. And they're like, oh, players won't come to sit on the bench. Players won't.
Yeah.
Oh, well, what happens at Man City and Liverpool with Gakpo, Jota, Diaz? Why are they happy to sit on the bench? Because it's squad rotation and they're genuinely in for trophies every single season.
Mm-hmm.
But people will go because they want to become better and win trophies and do better. Why is it at Tottenham? Oh, no one wants to come and sit on the bench. Well, these teams do it. They go, yeah, but they can win stuff. Well, that's the whole point of buying strength in depth. Bournemouth, like I said, got the job done. Questions were asked. Could we bounce back? How can we deal with it with our depleted squad? Bournemouth are on fire. Can Spurs make up for the horror show at Brighton? Questions answered.
Yeah. Simple like that. And do you remember your score prediction for the game?
Yeah, I said 3-2. I said no. Actually, what did I say? I might have. Yeah, I think I said 3. It was 3-1 before we heard about Romero, and then it went to 3-2 for both Brighton and this game, and I got both wrong.
Well, I've got to say, I actually predicted it correct. I said 3-1. The correct answer was 3-1, and the poll was, will Tottenham Hotspur score more than? Will there be more than 3 goals in the game? And yeah, so whoever predicted it correctly, well done to you. But Brian, so please, can you let everyone know where they can find you and yeah, what you got next on Tottenham on Tour? Come on.
Yeah, Tottenham on Tour. Listen, first of all, the most important thing is people were subscribed to you, Josh. That's the most important thing. That everyone, you do a fantastic job with your YouTube channel and especially Instagram. Everyone should follow yourself and like and subscribe to this great channel. Listen, you can find me and the others at Tottenham on Tour. We have Cockerel Doodle Doo every single morning, Monday to Friday, and your management, which was on today and always the day after a match. And obviously it's the month of January, so it's transfer window time and Levy antics and media madness. So we will be going non-stop during January. So there's a lot coming from Tottenham on Tour. But most importantly, Happy New Year to everyone, and everyone get over and follow and like and subscribe to Josh.
Thank you very much, Brian. Obviously, it's always amazing to have Brian on the channel. Very much appreciate it. And if you guys have not yet subscribed to Brian, go subscribe. If you're not yet subscribed to Spurs Live, subscribe to Spurs Live here on YouTube, and we will see you in the next video. Come on, you Spurs, and yeah.
Levy out.
Course.